there we go. This was the ABCD I was talking about on Grassati, bro. I just saw this on Rats. Well, I mean, I was watching this when we had the 1.13 for the 886, right? But we've had the deeper pull down now, which is what I was waiting for. Right here we have, for those of you that don't know, this is a fundamental harmonic pattern, right? This isn't a 5-wave, this is a 4-wave structure. In that case, by that I mean this is an XABCD, this is simply an ABCD, right? This is called the AB equals CD pattern. And this is the prerequisite to any harmonic, right? Before you have a harmonic, normally there is a ABCD that forms one way or another. And if you take the reciprocals into account, the reciprocal of the 786 for the ABCD plus, normally any harmonic pattern you might do normally is the reciprocal of the 786 is the 1.13. And no, sorry, the reciprocal of the 786 is the 1.272, and the reciprocal of the 886 is the 1.13, right? So we've had the 786, the 886 retracement zone over here, and we have the 1.13 to the 272 extension zone over here. So this is a textbook AB equals CD in my eyes. Plus, for the PRZ, you have the fact you have a weekly demand zone, right? This cluster over here, this is in my books, this is a liquidity pocket. You have a weekly demand zone where buyers were very active before. That is the area where you went and you tested the mid, held, retested the mid, held. So now if you can reclaim this, then it's an easy shot up to the red box in my opinion. That's your next range highs. Flip that back to all-time highs. But again, this isn't like a serious project, bro. Look at the name. It's literally called Rats, right? This is like one of those BRC20 shit coins. But hey, if Bitcoin goes to 120k, things like this, you really think they're not going to catch bits? Like they will catch bits. Do you know what I mean? Let me do this. Yes up, Ryu, brother. So this is Rats. This looks promising. Just waiting for signs of strength, right? You haven't really got any major like screaming, like you've not got any signs of strength in the sense you're looking at it thinking, oh my god, this looks absolutely amazing in like the trend is to the upside, you've got higher lows. It's not that, but if you wanted to take a low risk bet, right, these are the areas where you slowly start sizing up. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, here is your supply at a most fundamental level, something like this. But yeah, just if you got some free money, you want to play some BRC20 shit coins, definitely have this one on your radar because this looks good, in my opinion. This looks really good. If you got any questions, put it in chat. By the way, your sub tip, bro. Yeah, this is a super clean setup. This looks really nice, man. This looks nice. But yeah, let's take a look. So currently the ones I'm focusing on are here, right? These are the ones I'm mainly scalping, mainly trading. BTC, of course, being the main, right? Yesterday, for the last few days, I've been scalping AVAX as well, up about 5k on that so far. My daily goal for scalping, for those of you that don't know, it's just like 3 to 5k a day. If I make that, I'm happy, right? So I've been doing that consistently for a few months now. But yeah, AVAX was the last one. Again, beautiful price action, right? Where did you bottom out? For those that fibs don't work, you bottomed out at the 0.94 or the 100% extension, depending on whether you look at this as a retracement or an extension. You had a very clear line up here, right? That is where you bottomed out on the macro. If I go on the weekly, it's clear as day where you bottomed out. Previous supports, back into support, right? Raid the lows, raid these lows. Where was your higher lows on the lower time frame to size up, right? Your higher lows again were at key fib levels, right here you can see breakup, right? Sellers tried to take control at the 8.7, they couldn't. All the wicks are showing you that sellers tried to push price down, but buyers took action, buyers took control, kept closing the price above the 8.7, right? Which wrangled you higher. Back down for the test, again same thing, which wrangled you higher. Higher low at the 8.7 on the extension this time, higher low in the liquidity pockets, followed by currently you are at a 4-hour area where sellers were active basically, right? So many coins are looking like this, where they've hit deep extension levels, right? Deep levels where it's deep value, prominently speaking, and they've had nice reactions off it. Now, if you're leverage trading, I wouldn't now go and open a 200x long here, right? That's not how you do things. If you're leverage trading, you gotta wait for some sort of framework to present itself. The framework was there, right? If it didn't catch this, you don't enter here, right? This is your reward for if you took action here. If you didn't take action here, you do not deserve this reward. Just think about it that way, right? So now you got to wait for that next area, next price action. You got to wait for price action to tell you, okay, I'm going to give you another opportunity to take a long, right? What could that be? Well, that could be a pullback to the bottom of this box, right? You can see Old range, this is where the candle body closes was, right? So this is, in my eyes, this is a range right here, the grey box, which is why I've got it drawn. If you get a pullback here, and it doesn't matter if you wick lower, but eventually you will get that 1 hour candle, depending on how low you trade. For me, scalping wise, I'm doing 1 to 5 minute entry models based on 1 to 4 hour PA. But if you then get presented with opportunity like that, that's where you pull the trigger now, right? And if anything, you had a very good hedge area to hedge a short over here, right? That is the action you should have taken if anyone was looking to scalp this, right? You neither enter a long nor a short here. That's in my system anyway. You neither enter a long or a short here. This is in the middle of a range now, right? This is nowhere. If you were trying to enter a short here, you'd have to try and swing it. Why? Because now you're looking at the 4 hours, right? Even intraday, I wouldn't really go 4 hours, right? So, because if you enter a 4 hour candle, the next 4 hour candle could do you something like this, right? You're just not entering at an ideal place in terms of risk to reward. So, if you missed opportunities like this, right, do not then feel FOMO here. That's not the right way to trade, okay? Because you will just get chopped up. So now just wait for the next opportunity to present itself. You never know. You could come down on the daily. If you look at the daily, we haven't had any major PA. You could do this, right? On the daily, you could do this. Who knows? If you get something like that, that is where you re-add, right? You do not just blindly enter here now, okay? If you're leverage trade. If you're doing spot, completely different story, right? If you're willing to hold, not a bad place to enter, honestly. Layer in, whatever, right? But I'm talking about specifically for leverage trading. This is now not the logical area to just blindly enter long, okay? Let me just quickly check chat. Okay, let's see. BTC. Now this is of course the main ones we're going to be talking about. So before I went on vacation I think it was a month and something ago now, right? It's been a couple months probably now, but what I said was just watch for the 4 month close. Right? I said I would not be surprised if it got a deep flush before the 4 months. Again, you can go check my last YouTube video if it's all there. And what do you know? You did get that big flush, right? So this was all, this was all warned about way ahead of time, right? I was saying, look, 4 months is coming up. The triennial close is an important one. You need to watch how the triennial, you need to watch for what price action brings upcoming to this monthly close, right? So again, let me turn the key levels on, right? All of this. And the area I said to watch, most importantly, was this pink box, right? This is unchanged, right? These are the areas I left you guys with before I went on vacation a couple months ago. So even if you go onto the 4 hours, right, I've not changed any lines, done nothing. You'll see how well these have been reacting, right? Price has just been bouncing around these, and if I actually add the liquidity zones, right there that I gave on here on Twitter as well, what you did do on BTC finally was you went and tagged that massive liquidity cluster that we were looking at, right? Look, weekly fair value gap mid, monthly fair value gap mid, 3-day fair value gap mid, plus weekly inverse fair value gap mid and the monthly inverse fair value gap mid. A huge amount of liquidity pockets. Add on to the fact that where is it? Hang on. There is I'll just draw it on myself. I don't know where it is. There was a 3-day demand zone here as well that we were looking at, right here. There. So you had a demand zone as confluence along with all of these other things. So what did you do? You went and wicked exactly, right? You took out the 3-day fair value gap mid, and then you had an insane reaction off of that. You reclaimed what I believe to be true range lows, which is above this area, right? More importantly, you reclaimed the 4 month low, right? And I said this is the area to watch, right? 57,789. Even in the Twitter post I made that I shared a few days ago, or like a week ago or something, that I shared on the channel, I said the level to watch right now is the area between 57,789 and 58,787, right? But the line in the sand is 57,789 for this month's close, okay? If we close above 57,789 during this month's close, then the chances of us going higher, right, probability wise is much higher than if we close below, okay? And the reason for that is, even though I'm saying monthly, 6 month low and mid, so on and so forth over here, this isn't like your typical, like, I'm not looking at the 4 month and looking at the high or something like that. This is me looking at, areas where buyers and sellers were active and then taking the lows of those, okay? So this is in your traditional highs and lows that I'm marking out here. This is part of my own system. But these are the typical, this is the area to watch, right? For this upcoming monthly close, the 4 month close, which is going to happen in how long? Not long left, like a week or something, right? Yeah, 8 days, 12 hours remaining. If you close above the 4 month low, in all honesty, you're looking good, right? You're looking really, really good, in all honesty. Even better if you manage to close above 61,357, this area. But as long as you close above this area, then the chances of us going higher is much higher than if we close below. If you close below this, I honestly think the chances of us actually going to tag 46k is much higher than just running up, okay? Of course, I'll be looking at a lower time frame price action to really get a confirmation of that. But just generally speaking, on a higher time frame basis, if we close below 57,596, that's the line in the sand for this 4-month close, and we don't manage to reclaim it soon, then we might just get that one more deeper pullback. We might not go down all the way to 46k, right? But we could definitely go and challenge the lows we just made, right? In that flush we had a couple weeks ago. So the line in the sand is very, very clear. This area right over here, right? You close above, you go up. Not you go down. And I think volatility wise, we have, I think, Power speaking today, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see what it brings. But that is your line in the sand, right? And of course, this should not be a surprise to anybody, right? This dump, like I said, even just levels wise, I'd already warned about this level plenty of times. I said, look, time frame wise, it doesn't seem right for us to just blindly run yet, because of the fact the 4-month close is not finished yet. But even on top of that, if you take a look, what did we have? Right, we marked this shark out, first shark what we saw, but we did have a second shark complete over here as well, right? You can see that if I turn that back on and I delete this, let me make this one invisible for now, right? Look what we had, right? So forget the fact that we had a, right here, there, and then let me turn these off instead. LTF time frame zone, so key levels. Let me turn those off. Okay, there we go. That's much cleaner, right? So one shark, right? You have 524, 1.227, 1.461, 0.895, right? That is a textbook shark right there. There's your type 2, right? Followed by another shark, right? The type 2 gave you this shark, and this time we didn't get a type 2. Well, on the daily end we didn't get a type 2, but still this is a valid shark. 398, 88, I'm just gonna say 886 because that's basically what it is, right? It doesn't matter if it's 897, it's 886. 1.599 and then 1.372. You had two sharks all lining up where? At the top of the supply zone, right? If you take this parallel channel, it's all lining up at the top of the supply zone, and then you followed by, when that shark completed, look what you got, right? If you needed any sort of inclination to, we might be going lower again, this would have been it. Swing failure pattern followed by a daily engulfing bearish candle, right? And again, if you look at the lower time frame, in my system, if you're looking at the daily, it's 1 hour to 4 hour entry models, right? Even if you're looking at this on daily, as soon as you saw that daily tap, you go down to the 1 hour, for example, right? You see something like this happening, right? This, right? Pretty much SFPs to the top of that channel, right? That is your trigger to say, okay, you know what? This is a high EV short for me, right? This is where I'm going to hedge, okay? And you know, on Twitter, I've been sharing snippets of what, you know, the profits I made from like the scalp in the shorts and stuff like that. For me, it was just aggressive scalp shorting all the way down, right? Just off scalping from here to here, like literally the whole majority of the 80k that was made overall was literally made just like seriously scalping and sizing up on the way down, just momentum based trading, right? But the actual prelude to why my strategy was, okay, aggressively scalp short to the downside, is because of the setup that had been building up for days and months, right? I'm not just blindly taking a short because I see something. It's the overall picture. What's there? Two sharks have completed at the top of the channel. No strength from buyers once you actually get to the area. No even breakout attempt, right? No engulfing candles. Trap traders, if anything, there was a large amount of trap traders here, right? If I go and I take a look, 1 second, let's go on to the daily. Let me see, which was the time frame? I swear there was, yeah, right here, right? A lot of trap traders on the way up, a huge amount of trap traders. That's all of that is a recipe for me telling me, you know what, we're probably going to flush all those trap traders out, right? There's people that are market longing, we're going to turn them into trap traders. We're going to take the liquidity. So that's exactly what this was, right? All of these levels again were shared way ahead of the time, right? Like these levels here were shared before this second leg was even made. So this, the fact we bounced off here and tagged this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that actually saw my posts. So currently what we're doing now is we have turned the midline of this parallel channel into resistance, right? You might move this parallel channel like different ways and stuff. I'm just going to leave it like this because obviously that's going to be open to interpretation where you take as a low and a high. I'm just going to take it like this. Do this better, right? Once you get above this, amazing. But we haven't done that yet. Right? I say yet because obviously that's some good strength. And the thing I turned off just now is a potential. I say potential because it's not finished yet. And you guys know I love marking out my BAM triggers. This is a bat. Okay, this is a potential bat 488. Pretty much 886 at the top again, right? 1.909, and the 86 here would mark with a liquidity rate area that I marked out right over here, right? If you ever go and raid the 6-month lows, this is where it's going to happen in my opinion. The only way to validate this harmonic currently, this macro harmonic, like I said again, is if we do get that breakdown, right? And you start seeing this being flipped into resistance. If you start seeing that, then you have a potential BAMM trigger. Now you guys know that the last couple times I put out the BAM triggers, they played out to the T. This is a very powerful form of indication when it comes to harmonics, right? Very powerful way to try and catch that move down before the harmonic actually completes or move up. So this normally happens with the bat harmonic, right? But you go and you flip that C into, that C right there, right? You go and flip this BAM trigger into resistance, right? And ideally, I want to see it being done on the daily, right? The 3-day. I want to see some higher time frame confirmations, not just like a lower time frame tap. But if you start seeing that, then you might have a chance to actually go and tag this. But until that happens, there's no reason to be completely sidelined saying, oh yeah, we're going to wait for 42k, 46k, 44k Bitcoin, because you might not get this, right? Fact of the matter is, currently speaking, what we've actually got is we've got a breakdown, we've got a massive liquidity grab, followed by a SR flip of the BAM to the upside. What you've actually done is confirm buyers have taken control back over here, which is not what you want to see if you actually want this to hit, right? So there's no reason for you to be completely sat on your hands, completely sidelined, being like, oh yeah, I'm going to wait for something like this to happen, right? I'm not saying this is guaranteed. I'm just pointing out what could happen should this happen, right? If this, then this, right? But what we've had for now is this. So if this, then this, which is what you're getting. Now, if you come and use this as support again, flip this, you're going higher. You're not going to get this, right? So it all depends on price action at key levels, right? Learn to find key levels. Once you learn to find your significant levels, right, your ability to analyze price action is just going to increase so much more, because the area where you're actually reading price action is that much more significant. But that's my thoughts on BTC, right? I think BTC looks good, right? And the thing is, here's the beautiful thing: even if BTC just chops, right, as long as it's not being vicious up and down, your alts are gonna fly. Okay, even if BTC was to just do this, I think alts are primed to catch bits right now. Right? I think alts are primed. So there is massive potential for upside, especially if you're thinking long term. So do not be scared, right? Do not be like, oh, I don't know. Just if you have a project you like, especially alts, many alts are set at amazing places. Just ladder in. You don't have to blow your entire stack at once. In fact, I always tell you guys ladder in, because that's the way to do things, right? At the end of the day, people, some people complain to me, but why laddering in, right? Because look, if you hadn't laddered in, you would have been absolutely liquidated by the time this happened. This is why I say ladder in at your key areas, right? Just ladder in. What you're trying to do is survive the chart and eventually catch, if you're in spot, the multiples of X's. Right? I see many people entering spot and TPing at 5%. It makes zero fucking sense. Unless you're entering in millions or billions, which, let's be honest, most people in Unity aren't moving that size. It makes zero sense to enter a quote-unquote long-term swing or spot and TP at 5%. Right? That's not how you should be doing spot. I'm just here to break it to you guys. That's not how you should be trading spot. Okay? Unless you're moving, like, think about it. Like, you have a $1,000 account. What are you gonna do? Enter the entire $1,000 at once and then TP at 5%. What are you gonna do with that, right? That you're not gonna grow your account at all that way. It doesn't make sense to me, right? So unless you're moving millions, or even not even millions, unless you're moving billions, it doesn't make sense to enter at, like, 5%. Yeah, high millions. Unless you're moving that, it doesn't make sense to enter and TP at, like, 3%, right? 5%. It doesn't make sense. So just hold for your multiples of X's, right? So enter projects you actually believe have the potential to do that. That's how you make life-changing money. Not, entering a spot every day and TPing at 5% moves. Right, let me check chat. Hey, wow, sorry bro, just saw your message. It was amazing. It was really, really good. I don't think I didn't hear Walk speak. I think it was because of I can't hear anyone else speak in the voice. I don't know why. I'll have to sort that out. But yeah. So let me just. The 0.5, that's made by Satoshi himself. Bro, do you believe that Satoshi's a CIA plant? I've been hearing a load of, like, Rumors that the CIA created Bitcoin. It's so funny, man. uh, yeah, see you later, bro. Yeah, what Gasari put, that's an amazing interpretation of what BAM is right there. Yeah, yeah, right, bro. It's recorded, bro. I'll put it on my YouTube after it's done. Yeah, no problem, Con, bro. Hope you enjoy. I'll be back to normal, so I'll be doing more streams and stuff. But yeah, I'll keep looking. So that's BTC, right? Just keep that in mind. We're currently speaking, this isn't an area where you take a trade, right? I entered here, scalped here, scalped here. So the majority of the 80k I made when I was on vacation was in the move down. The remaining like 20k or so, it was actually like catching that low and then scalping up, right? But right now, currently speaking, right, if you wanted to take any sort of trade, it happens at these key levels. Right? Every time you see failure to reclaim the area, you had your short. But you don't just blindly enter here. Now, if you want to enter a long, you either wait for this, right, something like this. You get the flip, you can try and enter, right? No flips, see? Move up, no flip, right? SFP, this is your short trigger. Here's your breakdown, right? You go and retest the level. If you see an SFP and your confirmation opens red, that is your short, right? This is a very, very high V short right there, right? 8.36 RR, very, very easy, right? Your risk is low, especially if I'm looking at 1 minute, 1 hour. Like I said, I'm looking at 1 minute to 5 minute entries. Your actual entry model, your actual risk to reward becomes much easier because I'm entering not here, I'm entering here, right? I'm entering at places like this. So if you take a look, the risk to reward just went from 8 to 21.15, right? This is how you get your high risk, high reward trades. And you look on my Twitter, people say, how do you trade high leverage? This is how I do it, right? I'm looking at very, very tight entry models. 200x, normally my starting position is at 1.5 BTC, so about, like I said, $350 to $400 at 200x. If I'm just scalping because of, let's say it's not a significant, we've not had any significant volatility in the market, I'm entering because a key level has been hit, I will take some profit, right? 3 hour, 4 hour, I'll take some profits. And after that, if I see more weakness, I will average up on my shorts, right? Meaning once I've TP'd, I'll size back up and then catch the next leg down, so on and so forth. That's how you really make money, right? But managing a risk is all there is to it. If anyone's leverage trading, that's all there is. People say you can't leverage trade, right? Or you can't do high leverage. You cannot do high leverage. It's just higher risk. So you need a certain mindset, you need certain strategies to mitigate your risk as much as possible, right? If I was to enter a 200x trade and leave it overnight because I entered on the daily, I'm going to get liquidated, right? That's why I'm never going to do that. But I'm going to enter this on the 1 minute to 5 minute entry models based on higher time frame price action, higher time frame levels. So I'm looking at levels of significance, right? I'm looking at levels of significance based on the higher time frame, right? And then I'm applying price action analysis. I'm simply reading price action, trying to get a gauge of what's happening between buyers and sellers at these key areas. If I see one have an edge over the other, I'm going to try to catch a wave at the side that has an edge, right? Over here, you look at this, you do not say buyers have an edge here. Why? Because look, once you actually got to the key level, where's the edge from the buyers? Every time you've gone up, sellers have taken control and closed you down, right? And as soon as you see this swing up, SFP down, you even if you don't enter on this candle right here, this is definitely a candle you can enter on. Do you know what I mean? So you just enter based on price action and that's it. But that's BTC, right? BTC looks, I'm not going to say it looks absolutely amazing, but it definitely doesn't look terrible, okay? It looks good. It looks good. So that's BTC. Let's take a look at, what else? Let's look at Ethereum. ETH, we finally hit that liquidity rate area I marked out ages ago, if you guys remember. Old range lows, and 2022 2023 range highs, breakout retest. This is a cluster, or if anything that is a cluster. It's vertical accumulation if anything here, right? You're just grinding up. I like to call this vertical accumulation. BTC was doing this as well. Let me show you this period here, right? This confused a lot of people. Right over here, if you see that, this is something I like to call vertical accumulation. This is designed, right? This is designed to chop people out while showing you the overall trend. Okay, there you go. You're literally if you look at this on the weekly, it's very simple. What you're doing, you're making higher highs and higher lows. That's literally what you're doing. But now you go on a more lower time frame, like the 4 hours. Let's try and look at this on the 4 hours, right? Right there. You can see how much of a chop city it was, right? So the leverage traders are getting absolutely wrecked while literally price is just grinding up, right? So that's what vertical accumulation basically is. It's showing you the trend while chopping up leverage, people. And BTC was doing it, therefore most other coins did as well, especially ETH, right? It's more of a correlation. So we been on targeted that area basically, had a big SFP to the upside again, and now you're reclaiming, what was this? This was, I believe, a 3-month fair value gap. Yes, it was. There. You've gone and recaptured the mid of the set area, right? Right over here. Honestly, I would have loved to see more strength from ETH, but it's what it is, right? It's just been underperforming slightly this cycle. I don't think it stays like that forever, of course, but so far ETH has been a bit of an underperformer, right? But I mean, it doesn't look terrible again. Like, obviously it looked better if you went and reclaimed all range lows, right? Maybe confirm some sort of higher time frame PO3 to take us to new all-time highs. But for now, you know, you're at the lower area, so I wouldn't enter any huge positions here unless, you know, you're holding spot, like I said. Even then, I wouldn't enter huge positions here. Just ladder in case you go to target these at some point. But the magic begins when you reclaim the old lows, because after that, you know, this is your target. Flip that, and then this right here, it's new all-time highs. So that's Ethereum. Like I said, a bit of an underperformer, right, so far, let's all be honest. But honestly, it doesn't look bad. The trend is still being held. That's the important thing. The trend is your friend, and the trend is still being held right there. I mean, it wasn't a perfect tap. Depending on how you put it, you could argue, like, you know, you did actually hold the trend, right? If you think of this as deviation, you did hold the trend, so not bad. Now, this is another one I'm just building positions on, right? I will scalp this alongside BTC. Of course, this is the two majors. The second one that got an ETF, but it will have its time. It doesn't look bad. Like, that's the thing with the crypto market right now. It doesn't look bad, honestly. And like I was saying, look, BTC has not done much, right? But look, things like, say, yesterday, AVAX ran up about 10%, right? Say today ran up about 10%. You know, you got all these coins. Injective, this is another one I think is going to run. Aptos, right? All of these. Currently, another tip I can give you is, like, do not spread yourself thin, please. Like, I know, like, this is getting into that time of the cycle where you're going to be seeing 25 million different tickers, 25 million different calls from, you know, different analysts, and that's not a bad thing. Of course, like, you know, you have abundance, you have variety, you can choose, but I can understand it can be overwhelming, right? So my honest opinion to you, I don't care how big your port is. Obviously, the bigger your port, the more you can afford to maybe diversify a bit. But especially if, you know, you've not got the biggest port, whatever, definitely focus your attention on a few tokens rather than spreading yourself thin, okay? I can guarantee you, I can guarantee most people, even in this stream right now, if you literally just focus on Bitcoin, I'm not even going to say shitcoins, just Bitcoin, even for leverage trading, right? If you just focused on this, just open big positions on Bitcoin and just traded that, try to get good at trading that, you would make much more money than opening 10 different leverage positions on 10 different assets, right? Because it's just much easier to manage, it's much easier to read the price action, you're not going to be overwhelmed, right? That's the biggest tip I can give you going into this bull market. Do not have 10 $100 spot bags, okay? That's not, you're not going to do much that way, basically. Better for you to size up, right? Better for you to size up on a few projects you believe in and just hold them. Okay, just hold them, sell them, start distributing on multiple X's, so on and so forth. Let's take a look at Solana. Solana, chop fest, absolute chop fest, but looks better than ETH, that's for sure. Solana, we actually hit the entire liquidity rate we marked out over here. We had this huge liquidity rate area marked out with this red box. We rated past that massively. And the thing I said was, look, with the liquidity rate, you want to see a close above, right? And boy, did you see a close above. That is such a bullish candle there, right? So Solana looks amazing. I don't know what to say. It's like, if you want to buy now, wait until, you know, something like this happens, right? Flip 143.59, whatever. You flip this area, then you have a reason to enter a trade. Until you flip, I wouldn't just blindly enter here, because you are technically at the mid of the range. Okay, if you take a look, you've had plenty of rejections from there before. So I'd wait for that confirmation of a flip. But yeah, Solana, not much to say. This one looks good. Like, you can literally see, right? It's just in this huge rectangular range right here. So if you flip that, you're going back towards 180, right? You flip that, 216. Very, very simple. That's Sol, and again, Sol is another one of my big positions, right? Going into the bull. I say going into the bull like we're not in a bull market. Going into the second leg of potential second leg, let's say, of the bull market. BTC ETH Sol. Let me just check the chat. You're up, Concludes, brother. Hope you're good, man. Which one do you think will have an ETF filed? Honestly, XRP. I think XRP would be good. I don't know if XRP will get an ETF filed, but me and Wog were talking about this. If I don't know if some of you are in that stream. Remember, this was before XRP had that pump, right? We were saying, look, XRP's hang on, let me do here. Doge is another one. I honestly think Doge could get a ETF. Where's XRP gone? One sec. There. Look at the structure, man. I remember me and Walker talking about this. It's like, do you really believe that something with a structure like this isn't gonna start doing well at some point in the future? Like, this thing is, since 2017, higher low, and even since 2022, right? Yes, it's not done much. It's been a shit coin, but you have never ever violated major structure. You've literally been grinding up. Someone has been buying this. There is a composite man out there just absolutely, buying the entire XRP supply, right? And of course, I could bite my tongue, right? Maybe you wake up one day and you see this, right? But what are the chances of that? This thing has survived the actual lawsuit, right? With a not a security filing, which we knew from the start it was gonna happen. It was just a matter of holding it down. And think about it. XRP allows for a lot of stuff, right? Even if you think in RWA, like, XRP has literal houses being minted on chain, right? Like, even if you, like I say, even if you think in RWA, XRP is a huge project towards that. Do you know what I mean? It does have a lot of use cases. People say shitcoin because obviously trading wise it's not been the nicest, right? It's not been the nicest. Obviously trading wise not been the nicest, but at some point you got to look at something and think of it as an investment rather than a trading. And if anyone buys XRP now, right, it's not going to be because they're thinking of trading it. It's going to be because most people who buy into this, if you look at this structure, is because they're thinking about this long term, right? So I think XRP could definitely get a filing at some point. Yeah. But yeah, XRP, that's one. Doge, like I said, I think Doge could be one. Arbitrum, here we go. Let's see what we get over here. Right, we completely drop below this breakdown, confirmation of a breakdown right here, followed by your continuation down. But right now, what you've done is actually, one sec. Why did I mark 0.5 out? Is that the low? Yeah, that's the low. So you've gone and actually taken the lows on ARB. That's beautiful, actually. If you want to get some Arbitrum, you just put your stop loss below this wick here, okay? Below this wick. And if you ever go down to confirm a double bottom in this area, that is going to be a great price action, and I'll definitely get in. Otherwise, I will. I just saw this actually. I've not paid attention to Arbitrum in a little while. This doesn't look bad whatsoever. I mean, no. Let me rephrase that. This looks terrible, but where it is right now doesn't look bad. Okay, like the harmonic got completely violated. Like the setup was there, the framework was there, the TA was there. You just didn't get any follow through, man. It was just it was that time, buyers just didn't follow through, and it's a shame because if they had followed through, it would have been glorious, right? These were your targets. So now I'm going to leave this harmonics on because of the fact that if you ever reclaim, I'm just going to take these as the targets anyway. Because if you look at this on the monthly, you can just think of this as a liquidity rate, right? On the quarterly or whatever, just think of it as a liquidity rate for the harmonic. But yeah, the framework was there, especially over here, man. When the 886 got hit, oh, it was looking so good. 2-week demand zone, right? Range lows. Macro 886 got tagged, key areas, right? The framework was there. Buyers just didn't step in. It's a real shame. And that's what trading is, right? It's what it is, because we entered here, we were in the green for a little bit, right? And we put our stop loss to break even, because if it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit, right? But at least you're risk free. But That's what trading is, right? That's why we do TA. We don't do TA to find, okay, this is where I'm going to make money. We find TA because this is the area where I have the probability to lose the least amount of money, right? Many people focus on trading psychologically speaking. Many people enter a trade thinking on the upside. Every time I enter a trade, I'm thinking about, okay, what's my downside? I don't care about the upside. The upside will come, right? I'm thinking, if I'm wrong, how much am I going to get bit in the ass, right? That's what I'm thinking about. And that's what I'm trying to minimize. I'm not trying to maximize my growth. I'm trying to minimize my losses. Okay, that's what it should be, and that's what TA is. You're finding areas where you're trying to minimize your losses. That's it. So yeah, it's a shame because the setup was there. So now just waiting for that reclaim. If ever we do have an intersection here, so that reclaim would be amazing. But for now, you know, if you don't want to enter this, you don't have to, right? Because the fact of the matter is, buying it 57 cents or 70 cents is still gonna be a good buy on ARB. You could buy a little bit here. That's the thing. I'm not gonna say don't buy ARB. You could buy for spot. You could buy a little bit here, right? This entire area is gonna be an area for you to size up, right? Don't be afraid to actually buy higher. Sizing up is a very, very important part of my strategy. Okay, it's the same as DCAing down. It can DCA up, right? So this is the area you're going to get plenty of opportunity to size up, right? Where you stop sizing up is once those key areas, like deep value areas, have been flipped into support, and then you start getting the impulse counters. You don't want to size up here. That makes zero sense, right? Now you're getting to areas where you want to distribute, not size up. And that's what most people get wrong. They don't buy here, or they buy little bits. They don't buy here, right? They think, oh, what if it goes lower? And once you get those green candles, that's when everyone piles in. But that's not how you do it. That's where you already want to be in before the green candles come in, right? So you don't be afraid to size up, right? If you want to get some ARB, I'm telling you right now, it's not a bad place to do so. Just buy a little amount, right? Whatever you're comfortable holding, and then if you do get the high lows confirmations, size up a bit more, right? Put your stop loss to break even. And if you do go a bit deeper, then you know you didn't enter a full amount, just DC a bit lower, right? Just bring the average down. It's what it is. But yeah, ARB, not at a bad area. Okay, not at a bad area at all. Only 3 more years of grinding and Walk gonna own the entire supply. Yeah, Walk's probably the he's probably the composite man, isn't he? So what's that? Oh, of course, the 1.13. That's clean, brother. I didn't see that actually. What time frame did you do it on? Daily. Took it from here. Ah, this here. Nice catch. I didn't see that. Nice catch, bro. Oh yeah, that's clean. Yeah, that's super clean actually, yeah. 1.13. That's a really nice shark. Yeah, that's clean. Hang on, let me put that down. CBCD. Yeah, okay, so you went from... Oh, yeah, I see it. Okay, Cypher. Bang. 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 Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a shock. Yeah. You just want to see some strength build here, basically, guys, okay? With harmonics work is, of course, you know, the PRZ is going to be around the 1.13, right? Between the 1.13 and the 886. You don't just enter because those levels get hit, okay? Just because a level has been hit for a harmonic doesn't make it a valid PRZ. You want to see strength, right? Do you see strength right now? Sure, you've got impulse up, right? You've got holds. If you want to see serious trend, obviously just increase your time frame. For now, if you look at where the candle body is closed, yeah, that's a 1.13. Want to go to the candle body close instead of the wick. Higher low. You just want to see some sort of strength build here, right? You might not always get a type 2. Ideally, you want some sort of type 2. Maybe you get something like this, right? If you ever get something like this, that is your, you know, that is your trigger to, you know, enter like a serious amount on ARB if you're serious about it, okay? Because at the end of the day, right, macro M shapes and macro W shapes followed by a valid type 2 at a valid PRZ, that's what, you know, that's what dreams are made of in terms of harmonics and trading. So honestly, ARB doesn't look bad at all. This looks good. Okay, there's that. That's ARB. Nice catch on that, bro. It's a good one. Okay, let's take a look. Let me add this to focus. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna add it to focus. Yeah, I'll add it there. I'll make a different section so I can make it invisible. So let's take a look at some others, right? AVAX. We looked at this. AVAX looks amazing. I don't know if AVAX is ever going to go back towards all-time highs, right? I don't. But in the case that this is the bottom, right? And honestly, this was an amazing place for a bottom anyway. Look, range highs, right? Range highs, old support, right? Macro 887, 886, retracements and extensions. All of that got retested as support, right? Plus, liquidity pocket got confirmed, right? It got taken out. So the liquidity pocket's been taken out as well. Your drawn liquidity is done for, right? If this is a valid low for Arbitrum, right? Your first macro target for me is going to be previous local all-time high, right? Which is B, 65.39. If you ever flip that, then once again, you're looking for that BAMM to the 886, okay? Now, obviously, I will repeat, I do not know if ARB is ever going to go back to 130, right? I'm not trying to sell you some pipe dreams and say, okay, buy here, hold to 130. What I can say is, you know, it is a possibility, right? Based on what's happened so far, it's a possibility. Do we have some sort of harmonic here? One sec, let me check. I think it's going to be too deep of an extension. Nah, they don't. But still, maybe on different time frames. Actually, I'll take a look. But if you ever flip the B, then obviously you're talking about 100. Because look, if you ever flip this back into support, why did you reject here? Well, I mean, many reasons. One is a 414, right, which for me is a liquidity rate of the 38234 golden pocket. Secondly, because if you just look at the areas in terms of support and resistance, what has this been in the past, right? This has been an area of support and resistance. And let me actually make it a bit tighter so it's easier to see for you guys. This has been an area of support and resistance, right? Let me turn the fibs off once, just in case it's a bit messy. Look, very, very clean to see. Resistance, support, right? This has been a big zone. So if you ever go and flip that on AVAX, you wouldn't be discounting this harmonic, okay? So I'm just putting this down there in case it ever comes. Obviously, to validate this, you're gonna have to wait a while unless AVAX just decide to do like a 2x, 3x here and flip. It's not gonna happen overnight, right? You're gonna want to see price going up, you know, generally speaking. Flip this. Once the B gets flipped, this area gets flipped, then you have a trigger to be like, okay, we actually might get that 886, right? But yeah, AVAX is definitely one of my bigger bags. AVAX, SOL, ETH, right? These all look good. Currently, I'm scalping AVAX as well. For me, it's just scalp to swing mindset right now, right? It's a big position scalp, and once that's in the green, once it runs, pull my stop loss to break even, try to size up on, you know, higher lows, and just try to scalp that swing. That's how you that's how you get those low. That's how you get high leverage swings, right? That's how I took that $48 account to 16,000 back in 2023 that I shared in my channel. I didn't do that by just holding spot, right? I'm just not saying holding spot is bad, but I'm saying trying to take a $48 account to 16k in a matter of between May to December, right? That's what it was. So in a matter of what, 7 months, it's not possible holding spot unless you get super fucking lucky. Okay, so for me, it was just a matter of look for those, you know, low time frame scalps, right? And then once that's in the green, put your stop loss break even, just try to turn that into a swing, right? And for me, it worked out because of the time frame at which I did it. I did it when the risk on assets were actually catching bids, which is why it worked out. Of course, it's not always going to work out, but that's why, you know, when you actually pull the trigger is just as important as where you pull the trigger. So that's AVAX. Injective. Okay, this one, I'm a firm believer this is going to be a triple digit project in the peak of the, you know, whenever we do get the next leg of the bull run, this is going to be a triple digit project in my opinion, right? Firstly, let's take a look at it in different ways. Okay, let me turn the retracement off first. Okay, let me turn the cipher patterns off and the rectangle off. Okay, so firstly, let's look at this in terms of what I think many of you probably aren't used to. We're looking at some of diagonal fibs. Okay, fib speed fan. If you take it from the macro low to the macro high, okay, that's what I've done. The area we've gone to is the 764-786 zone, right? So you've entered the deep value areas, and again, if you look at this diagonally, what was once resistance has been flipped into support. Okay, you rated the golden pocket first. 702, 707 in my system is a liquidity rate of the golden pocket. Okay, rated the golden pocket here, went back up, and then you finally came down here the deeper level, and you reconfirmed the liquidity raid as support, right? And now you're just using the golden pocket as resistance again. So the PA has been really, really good, right? And do I see a 3 drives? One sec. I have to check properly because I forgot the exact ratios. But a potential 3 drives could be in the cards here. 3 drive pattern. I mean, the bullish div is there. With the 3 drives pattern, you want to see bullish divergence forming for it to be valid, in my opinion, right? I wouldn't just play a 3 drive on its own without divergence. But the bullish divergence is showing. So, yeah, it could be a valid 3 drive as well, actually. That's beautiful. But, yeah, Injective, another one to watch for, right? So that's in terms of Fib speed fans. If you look at this in terms of a macro retracement, right, you just about front ran the 764786, which again, to me, isn't bearish, that's bullish, right? What you're saying is demand is so high, sellers, buyers didn't let you get here, right? Buyers front ran it. So they didn't let sellers even touch this level. They bid it up before it even got there. Currently, you're rejecting the 618, right? Your primary retracement level, that's where you're rejecting off of. So that's in terms of horizontal fibs. Now, in terms of just, you know, patterns you guys are more probably used to, like you do have a massive falling wedge that is not to be denied right over here, right? You can see support, 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 resistance, 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 resistance. You ever get a breakout right off here, something like this, that'll be a trigger to try and enter, right? If you're not already in, of course. So you start putting all that together, and what you get, right, slowly, hopefully, it becomes less and less messy for you guys once you realize what everything actually is you get this, right? And lastly, sorry, this is a, you know, your old area, all-time highs, but more than that, it's an area where sellers were active in your all-time highs, right? So you want to see buyers recapture that area, basically. As long as you're below that, you have an argument to say, okay, you know what, we might actually carry on going lower in the near future. But if you get above this, and again, that would be a flip the golden pocket as well. That would be a beautiful trigger to enter in specialty spot if you haven't already done so, right? This would be an undeniable trigger. And you'd be targeting these highs up here, in my opinion. And the 0.5, of course, somewhere down the mid here. But you'd be targeting those areas, right? But this is, in my opinion, yeah, Inch probably goes to triple digits in the peak of this bull, right? It's a deflationary token. Like, it's proven its worth, especially in this bull. It's been a massive outperformer. So, only thing to watch for, like I said, if you cannot get above this box, right? If you cannot get above it, what you have here is a demand zone, okay? Same as like, looks similar to rats, right? Weekly deeper demand zone that has not yet been tagged, right? And you do have a shock, right? Look, you do have a potential shock going into that area should you fail to turn these levels back into support over time, right? Should you fail, then it's a possibility, especially if Bitcoin, like I said, closes below that 4-month level and it does go to test the 40Ks, because never say never, you know, what if it does? If that does happen, Inge is going to go and tag these areas, this area, in my opinion. If that happens, I'll be picking up a huge bag, absolutely huge, right? Because you'll have literally taken out all your liquidity pockets from the previous, previous leg up. After that, there is no more draw on liquidity to the downside. It makes zero sense for sellers to keep selling, basically, right? If you ever get this, just know all your targets now are going to be to the upside, not the downside. So you want to be focusing on that rather than how much lower can it go once something already had an 88.6% retrace from its all-time highs, right? So that's injective. That's why scalp to swing mindset for me, right? Scalp to swing mindset for me. Let me check one sec. This one is Magic. Orb, yeah, Orb. Avalanche, AVAX. Oh yeah, I see that, bro. Oh yeah, that is a cipher. Oh yeah, I drew it and I said, no, what's wrong with me? That is a cipher. Yeah, that's a cipher. Yeah, so you do have a really, really good cipher there. Look. Yeah, and the harmonics that Grasati's put down on AVAX, they're just as valid, by the way. We just took different peaks, but those are all targets, right? Those are areas where you'd be distributing. Okay, that's what you'd be doing. Deep Gartley. Yeah, okay. 886, 1.6. Yeah, yeah, Deep Gartley. Yeah, look at that's the thing as well with harmonics, guys. Many people that try to play harmonics, like one thing you got to realize about harmonics, okay? Harmonics is based on fibs, okay? Obviously, it's derived from fibs, and fibs is only affected by the y-axis. Okay, well, majority of fibs are only affected by the y-axis. Unless you go for time-specific fibs, fibs are only affected by the y-axis, not the x-axis. Meaning, right, in layman's terms, what that means is fibs only cares about your price ranges. It does not care about your time ranges. Okay, and again, there's some fib tools that account for time, right? But I'm not going to go over that now. But harmonics are a collection of fibs. Okay, it's just a collection of fib moves. Okay, fib ratios. Meaning, as long as your retracements are valid, it does not matter what your chart looks like. Okay, you might have many people that trade harmonics expect it to look like this, right? Let me give you an example. They expect perfect M shapes and perfect W shapes. If they don't see that, they don't consider it harmonics. Okay, I've seen this a lot. You expect that clean M shape. This is not always going to be the case, right? And what I'm trying to mean by that is price isn't always going to be looking like this clean M shape. This harmonic is just as valid, right, as something that looks, right, like this. You might be doing this, right? This, and then your D might be like that. Okay, as long as these ratios, right, between that you've got this, 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 and this, as long as those ratios are the exact same at this point, meaning, right, just imagine the ratios are the same. I'm not going to go to the effort of trying to make it look like the same ratios, but what I'm trying to say is, right, notice how completely, like, sort of disfigured this harmonic looks, right? You're not always going to have the cleanest looking M shapes. It doesn't matter, okay? This is what you're worried about, okay? This right here. So harmonics do not care about the x-axis. It doesn't matter how long it takes for your price to complete. It's the actual fib ratios that matter, right? It could take you, let's say for example, 2 months, right, for your XAB, 6 months for your C. It could take you 3 years for your D. It does not matter as long as, let's say, that 86 is hit after 3 years, and then you start to see positive price action coming in, right? That harmonic is just as valid as something that's more regular. It took, you know, like a week, a few days, another week, just as valid. It's the same validity. Okay, your time axis does not matter for harmonics. Okay, so stop looking for clean M's and W's. Start looking for the price ratios. That's the important thing. Okay. Auto right there. Zoom in. Yeah, 3 drives. I feel like it's because people don't. It doesn't really look like an actual harmonic, right? Even with ABCD, at least you've got that, you know, wave structure. With 3 drives, it's more tight. People aren't really expecting it. So yeah, I think that is a valid 3 drives on Inj. So that's something to watch out for. But yeah, Injective looks good, man. Injective looks good. When Power speaks, I expect nothing, bro. It's just volatility. It's all TA. If you're speaking and you've been SFPing below key levels, maybe don't then just open a massive long thinking, what if I'm right? Maybe actually go for a tight short instead. Tight stop loss short. Because, you know, TA wise, that's actually what's more prevalent. If you don't want to risk it, just don't trade. Because realistically, what these clowns say doesn't matter, right? It's all going to be in the charts, bro. Power doesn't know what he's doing anyway. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, bro. Yeah, I literally I had a chart that looked like this when I first started trading Pepe, right? Because the Pepe's move up was so drastic. You had the cleanest harmonic, but it looked exactly like that what you just put down, bro. Just a straight line for your XAB. all you saw was your D leg coming out. Yeah, it's valid. That's what matters. You know what I mean? It's the actual price leg that matters. So if that 886 ever gets reversed, then you know you've reclaimed an important level for that harmonic, and you'd play as such until it was invalidated again. But that's Injective. Aptos, another very amazing one that I think will do amazing, right? Look, I mean these levels were given so in advance. It's actually crazy. key levels, right? Look, liquidity pocket, bare liquidity pocket in this area, right? And yeah, you just tag that. So you did front ran the mid again of the massive one of the let's say the monthly. You front ran the mid, sure, but now you're getting bids off that, and you're slowly going back up, right? You've reclaimed the 6-month buyer control zone. You're trying to reclaim the trend. If the trend is reclaimed, but here is your next area where there's clear selling pressure going on, right? You want to see something like this. Take this out, turn this into resistance, right? Get that break of structure, high, low, boom. That's what you're gonna see if the bids keep coming in. This 1 second. You know me, I prefer zones over lines because just having lines puts you under that illusion that you need to enter at that one point. You don't need to do that, okay? Just give yourself a zone. It's so much easier. There, that's good. Yeah, there you go. Flipping up. I'm already in. That's Aptos. Not much to say on this. Look, you took out range lows. You literally took out range lows. Now, next logical thing would be to take out range highs. Yeah, and unless BTC dumps, in which case you go and challenge this low, maybe take this entire thing out. But unless BTC dumps, which right now it doesn't look like it's doing, there's no reason to sit there thinking that, right? This is a dragon, I believe. Is this a dragon? Oh, I'm not sure. I forgot the exact parameters of a dragon, but this could be a dragon. Normally, you find dragons underneath like your typical channel / trend lines, whatever. You're looking for that structure, but I forgot whether dragons can go lower or not, so I'll have to recheck that. But this definitely could be a dragon. It's looking like that structure, and dragons can turn into ciphers, okay? So that's another thing as well. So actually, I don't think this is I forgot whether the next leg, the hump, can go lower than the head or not for the dragon. Do you remember Crisadi? Okay, yeah. But it's good confluence for when you have like a potential channel or like a wedge, whatever. But yeah, I'll get back to you guys on that one, because I forgot if you can have that. Yeah, okay, but that's Aptos, right? Look, you guys might not enter thinking, oh, I missed the bottom. Like, don't be like that, okay? Don't be like that. Look, you've gone from $4 to $6, but are you really going to be complaining that you didn't enter here one day when Aptos goes and challenges is all-time highs of 19, fills the wick at 29? No, it doesn't fucking matter, right? Just have areas where you're willing to risk some capital, have areas where you're willing to size up or size down, and just emotionlessly pull the trigger. That's all it is. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. I'm in a leverage trade on this one, brother. But I definitely have spot as well. Scalp to swing mindset, like I was saying. Been scalping this since $4.40, something here, and just been sizing up. So that's Aptos. SWI, we had a 886 completion over here. Look, 1.1386. This is a textbook shark, can I just say, on SWI. We had an 86 completion. Now I'm looking for this 886 shark again. Okay, just shark to shark on the more lower time frame for a high. So we'll see. Like at the end of to get to this target, right? You're gonna have to flip this area. Okay, look, we do have a daily order block here. We have a what's the green zone? You have a daily order block and a 3-day order block, right? Both in this area. So that is liquidity pockets. Well, this is liquidity pocket to the downside, right? This was liquidity pocket to the upside, but it's been turned into resistance for now. So if you want to go higher, you're going to have to go and reclaim this area. If you don't reclaim, then you might just go and maybe challenge these lows again. Who knows? But look, you're holding the deep value, right? 764786, where you had one bounce off before. You're holding that. You tagged the 87886 on your C leg, right? That's what you tagged. So you've hit both the deep extensions, right? And now you're holding it here. You've entered the 0.05, right? You didn't actually hit this, but you did hit that liquidity rate of the 0. People waiting for 0 are not going to get it because you bounced off the liquidity rate. So SWI, whether you go to this D target or not, hinges entirely upon, okay, do you go and flip this intersection here, right? If you do that, then yeah, this target's going to hit. But it's just, as long as you don't take this out anyway, as long as you don't actually go and take out this area, this harmonic will be valid, like I said, until it goes and hits it, right? So that's what I mean when I say it's not a matter of time, it's a matter of price, right? SWI looks good. higher low. So this doesn't look bad at all. In a leverage trade on this one, say, right, we went over this at the, did we go over this? Yeah, we did go over this, didn't we? But anyway, say, this is a big one for me. I think this one's going to do amazing in the peak, right? I'm in this already. I gave these levels on Twitter and also shared it in the channel way in advance, right? Look, loads of liquidity pockets here, 2-week FVG mid, weekly FVG mid, monthly FVG mid. The mids got front ran, but that means the liquidity pocket still got tagged, right? You just didn't hit the mid. That's all it is. You hit the you raided rather not hit, but you raided the 87886, right? That's where you raided, and now you've gone back above it here. The trend you held, right, to the candle body close right over there, from this low to these candle bodies here, the black line, you closed above, you held the trend after you raided it. You had a perfect bounce of the 87, right? So you've hit the deep value levels, and now you made a higher low, right? And now you're looking to go higher. So again, currently 764 is what you're rejecting off of. You do have a three-day fair value gap mid that was support turned into resistance, right? That's now, hopefully they're going to turn it back into support. Your main area, right? Before you can get big fuck you candles, you're going to have to get above this. And that's what I'm saying. Many alts are like this. They have that one big level above them they need to get above before, you know, resistance clears out until much higher, right? For you to go parabolic, you need to clear this. Meaning, if you get any high lows in these areas, that's where you size up, right? That's where you size up. Don't be afraid to size up, okay? Because you want to be sized up, locked and loaded to catch that parabolic move. You don't want to be scrambling to hit market buy once the parabolic move's happening. You're going to get stopped. You're not going to get ideal buys. You're going to mess it up, right? So size up on signs of strength at the key levels. That's the important thing. Because it's hard, right? It's hard to feel excited. It's hard to be like, oh, what if? Of course, the doubt's going to be there when you're not seeing the big candles. The euphoria isn't in the air, right? But people who are trading because of euphoria aren't trading because they're good traders, right? They're trading because, oh my God, it's going up. What if it goes higher? It's emotions, right? Good traders are going to be slowly managing their risk while building positions at these key areas to sell to the people that are going to be buying up here like chumps. Now, that's all it is, right? So you just got to ask yourself, would you rather be buying here off someone who played it right, or would you just want to succumb to your emotions, do what's easy, and just hit market buy once everything's green? Because then it becomes much easier to be like, oh, look, everyone's buying, it's going to go much higher, right? You don't want to be uncomfortable. So just keep that in mind, right? Look, I'm not opposed to a deeper flush, like I said, right? If we get a deeper flush, I think this is going to look even cleaner, okay? But like I said, I don't know if we get it. Because even if BTC just holds the range we're in currently, alts, there's no reason for market participants to just start market shorting here now. This thing's already had, for example, an 87% retrace from its all-time highs. It doesn't make sense for people to hit market short at areas like this, right? Unless they're scalping, shit like that, of course. So many of these coins are huge areas, right? We've looked at rats. This ABCD is too clean, right? This zone to this zone. This is really, really clean. And then we looked at ARB, right? So yeah, that's the majority of the ones I wanted to go over anyway. And the reason I'm going to go over this for now is because these are the ones I'm focusing on personally, right? So let me add a section here because ARB wasn't initially there. So these two I'm going to add here because these aren't going to be my main bags, right? And these SWI questionable. It's not going to be my main bag, so I'm going to chuck it down here. But these, I'm going to have big positions in these. Plus Ondo. Ondo should be here as well. Hang on. Where's Ondo gone? Market list. Master list. Ondo. Here. Some things are popping. RSR. Back from the dead. Focus, yeah. Ondo should definitely be in this list. There we go. Alright, this chart is in a serious need of an upgrade. I've not touched this in so long, but hey, what did we do? Went and took out the zero, right? This channel can fuck off now. That is done for. Here, delete. Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna do this bare bones. One sec. Let's do this from. Hang on. Let me leave those two on for now. Retracement. Yeah, okay. Go away. there. Golden pocket, that's where you bounced off of. Okay, again, you wouldn't blindly enter here, right? Why are you below the 0.5? If you have a major level above you, just don't enter until you get a flip. Just if you waited all this time to enter, you can wait a little bit more. If you get the 0.5 flip, enter then. But look at all these wicks, right? What I'd do is I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna mark this out. Between this to this, right? You need to get above this zone basically. Here, get above this zone, you can go higher on Ondo, right? Very clear to see. Just taking it off that kind of body close there on the 3-day, right? If you go into the weekly, you can see. Actually, I'm gonna make it look even cleaner here. This is the area, majority wise, where sellers were active on the weekly, right? I'm not gonna count this deep pull down, but if I were to count it, I guarantee you'd see some sort of semblance. Look what you did right there. Let's just do it like this. Buyer zone. This is the buyer controlled area. You're flipping the mid of it so far. But if you want to go higher, you need to flip it. I'm just going to leave this box here. Okay, very, very simple. Rated the lows. You flip the mid, right? There you go. Up. Cleanest reclaim here, because this wasn't a clean reclaim. You've got your clean reclaim. And now, your best bet for Ondo, if you're not already in, either wait for this, okay? Because again, hopefully you can see why, right? Major, yes, this was major support on the weekly, but that just means that if buyers cannot show strength, it is going to turn into serious resistance, right? Like it's already done 2 weeks in a row. So if you're not already in, maybe just wait for that flip, because you're not going to be, your entry is going to be like cents, right? It's not going to matter. So just wait for that flip, or wait for that deeper pullback if we do get it, right? So two options very clear to you. Just wait for that flip or wait for the deeper pullback. This line is not of serious importance, so let me delete this. There. Just wait for that flip or wait for that serious pullback. That's all it is for Ondo. Liquidity's been raided, right? And the next area, if you were to ever lose this box seriously, is going to be here, where buys were active last. And if you lose that, that's when you finally go to this. Now, I'm not saying you're gonna get 20 cents Ondo, right? You're probably not gonna happen, but probably not gonna happen this cycle. But never say never, right? But yeah, for now, don't worry about all of these. Just worry about where you are currently, right? For example, on the daily, you could even, if you go and you see things like this again, right? You see the mid still being held as support. You can enter a lower time. You could enter a trade rather with your stops just below these wicks, right? But obviously, you're not gonna limit this. Okay, I don't limit most of my leverage trades. Okay, I market enter because I want to see price action be on my side before I enter. I'm not just gonna blindly hope something happens at a key level. I want price action to actually tell me what you're looking for is happening, right? So just watch for something like this. Either you flip this and you go higher, or you don't. You come back down to test this lows. If you lose this, that's when you get back down to range lows. Very, very simple, right? Could not keep it simpler for Ondo. There you go. We delete that box for now. I'll just keep this on here. Yes, Ondo. Before anyone asks, Ondo is a big part of my portfolio. Yeah. It's just been doing really, really well. Look at the performance, right? RWA, narrative's hot. Just been doing well. So Ondo is a big part of my port. No bullish divergence on the 3-day. No bullish divergence on the... What about the daily? Yeah, you got bullish divergence on the daily. From this low to this low, right? Nice bull divs. But yeah, Ondo, that's the last part of my spot, right? That's the last big position I've got on spot. Also gonna try to build a swing long on this one. Been scalping it. Scalp to swing mindset, like I said. That is Ondo. Daily order block. Used as resistance. There. Midpoint resistance there, right? So you can see you need to flip this area back into support before you can go higher. So that's Ondo right there. But yeah, guys, like I said, look, overall we're fine, right? Overall, there's nothing to be worried about or scared about right now. Let's take a look at a couple of things first. Master list, you know what we're gonna do. We haven't done Dixie death. What did I say? You lose this box and you lose the green box, this is your next. You lost the gray, you lost the green, flipped it back into resistance, right? Look at the daily, given away ahead of time, right? Look, flipped into resistance, now you're back down at range lows. back down to range lows, right? Look, same thing that happened here. This is the same channel we've been looking at ever since I actually started streaming. We've just been looking at this. This is the channel that gave us the entries for the swings, right? This is the channel that's now telling us, look, Dixie looks weak as fuck. Right now it's back as support, so obviously, you know, you could get a bounce, move back up, but we don't know, right? But Dixie has been weak as hell, right? Which is why crypto's actually been holding up decently. This never came to pass. You never went and flipped the B, right? The BAM never triggered for this. And you've actually, technically it's still valid because you haven't gone and taken the C out, right? So you could genuinely go up and then do the BAM and go. You never know. But for now, let's see what happens, right? So USDT dominance. What was I saying? I was saying, look, BTC, no new all-time highs until this blue box is lost, right? I'm sure you guys remember me saying this every single stream I did. Guess what? You didn't lose it. Remember, every single time you read this box, you've had a minimum 100 and something% move up. There was no reason to expect different here until you actually got the confirmation. What do you know? You got a 78% increase in price of, or not price, but dominance of USDT, right? From here. But this is why TA and finding significant levels is so important, guys, right? This is also why I didn't give, you know, massive swing plays when we were down here, because I was saying, look, I'm not going to give fresh, huge swings until we get that breakdown retest, right? Because it wasn't safe. I'm glad I didn't, right? And currently, obviously, this is a nasty candle. You've looked like you've SFP to the upside. So now, you know, the fact of the question is, do we come down and create some sort of, I don't know, 3 rising values scenario and then just go higher? Or is this the top? This SFP looks bearish for now, and do we go back down and break down? That is the question, right? But like I said, you're not going to see fresh all-time highs on Bitcoin until this blue box is lost. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, okay? These were the liquidity targets I gave before I left. All of that got raided, and now what you're doing is you're trying to flip this back into support. Currently, you're trying to flip this back into support. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. There, okay, but that's the Dixie. Let's see what else. USDT plus USDC dominance bounced off the 0.94, flipped the when we last talked about this, I'm pretty sure we were here, right? Like trying to flip, and we flipped that, and then we were over here. We were saying, look, if it ever gets above the golden pocket, it's gonna raid. We got the raid, right? Again, this was given before I went on vacation. So again, if this makes a high low at the golden pocket, then you might challenge these highs once more, right? You might go and confirm, challenge the high, and then come down. In which case, you would be getting that deeper pullback on Bitcoin. BVOL has just been, yeah, you know, pretty neutral, but apart from a couple weeks here and there. Bitcoin dominance has hit that key level we're talking about. The 0.34 got tagged. Okay, I want higher. I want about 60%, right? Just 382. Between that, we do have the 58.41 and the 59.83% as well as a pit stop. I do want a bit higher on BTC dominance, but hey, we're approaching the area. Look, right? We're approaching the area on Bitcoin dominance, where we were saying, look, these are the areas now where you want to see, you know, you want to start looking for, like, you know, high time frame weakness, right? Because then once Bitcoin dominance starts coming down, right, that is when your altcoin season is going to begin. So do keep an eye on Bitcoin dominance, right? Because if it starts exhibiting huge signs of weakness, you're also going to start performing pretty well, as long as Bitcoin doesn't crash when that's happening, of course. You always got to put that disclaimer there, because, you know, Bitcoin controls pretty much everything in terms of price movement. Total, filled the entire block, had this drawn on way before. Yeah, you filled the block. Now you're looking to go higher. I believe this was a 3-month or something. Yeah, 3-month fair value gap. You filled the block. Good reaction of it, right? Total 2, front run, a huge front run. See that pretty much here. Huge front run of the zone we had marked out, but not bad at whatsoever, right? You went to the target, and now you're recovering the other target. Look, if you look deeper, hardly a front run actually. Yeah, you did tap it. It's just a weekly being weird. You did tap it. Look, literally to the point, right? We had this zone marked out, tapped it to the point, and now you're recovering. So total 2 looks good, right? Remember what happens if total 2 looks better than total 1, right? And in this case, they look pretty similar. So I wouldn't say, you know, it's money rotating at the ETH season yet, but BTC is still in the lead, right? BTC and Ethereum are pretty much neck on neck in terms of money rotations currently. When you see Total 2 ready to move out against Total 1, that is when the money rotation into ETH is gonna happen. Total 3, Golden Pocket raided, right? You didn't go and hit the red box we had marked out for SR flip again, front ran that, but no matter. Reclaim, and now you're trying to go up higher again, which is why your alts are catching bids, by the way, right? Because Total 3 looks good, right? Total 3 looks really good because it's actually gone up higher than Total 1 or Total 2 in terms of local range, right? So Total 3, that is why your alts are catching bids. Total 3 is actually broke out from its local range, therefore it's not got resistance until a bit higher, right? Which is why your alts have been running. And especially others, right? So this is your alts, not on the, I forgot how much it is, but this is your proper altcoin chart. This has been outperforming the most. That's telling you, that's literally telling you, yeah, crypto total market cap excluding top 10 here, right? This is telling you, look, alts up, money is going into alts right now, followed by BTC, and then followed by, ETH right now. So ETH is literally underperforming. You can see that, right? ETH is underperforming heavily. In terms of CME, let's take a look. Yeah, CME gaps have all been filled, right? There. BTC not interesting in terms of CME, but Ethereum, I believe, does have, yeah, Ethereum has a huge CME gap above. So this is a reason for you to stay bullish on ETH, okay? Look, the CME gap target is to the upside on ETH, okay? And look, you hit the deep on CME. We had this zone marked out, right? Look, previous CME gap. That is where you came to for support, okay? Came down to that area, high low at the 3.4, and now high low at the 3.8234 of the extension, right? So again, if you go to fill the CME gap, you're looking at around $3,000 ETH, right? So $400 increase in price, which is going to take you from here to here, 12% increase. That is not to be laughed at, right? That is not to be laughed at. That's pretty good for a major. So if this CME gap fills, that's what you're looking for. Maybe that's going to lead you to further downside on ETH. Who knows, right? Or maybe you just go and flip the CME gap and go higher. But the target is there, okay? So don't be mindlessly bearish for no reason either. That's what I'm trying to say. The draw on liquidity is here right now. Huge draw on liquidity. Let me check the chat again. Shark is a 5-0. Is that on Sabro you were talking about, the Shark being a 5-0? Oh, that's on Sui, okay, yeah. A Diva flush on Say feels a 3 drive. If you get that, it will be so unbelievably clean. Oh, didn't clock that. Let me go back to Say once. Focus. Say. Oh no, you'd be right, yeah. Yeah, it would. Generally speaking. Yeah, this would just be a super clean entry. Right down here would be so nice. But that's the thing, we're looking for perfect entry, guys, right? If you ever think yourself, oh, this is going to be so clean, I'm going to wait for that. Don't ever get in that mindset, right? Because, if something, just because something looks super clean doesn't mean you need to wait for that perfect, pixel perfect ping of your price, right? So just get in at key areas. But yeah, Say looks amazing. Can't lie, Say looks good. I'm excited for this one. Let's see where this ends up a couple years down the line. Hopefully this thing more than doubles in its all-time high price once proper all season rotates around. Like imagine this thing goes to like $3 or something, right? That'd be amazing, bro. Or even like $2.50, $2. I'd be happy with that. Yeah, but Say looks good. Right, just buy LMAO. Yeah, exactly, just buy LMAO. There you go. But yeah, so that's pretty much it from me today, guys. Just a quick touch up because it's been a while since I streamed last. Just to let you guys know, yes, I'm still alive, doing good, business is going well. Just needed to clear my headspace. I was going through some, going through something in real life, so just needed a break from everything. And yeah, just back in action. And I've got a load of DMs asking about, because if you follow my Twitter, you see me posting like daily, like, like my reserves for like how much I made on the day, so on and so forth. I do not call scalps here, okay? I don't call scalps in any Discord. The only time I call scalps is that's more private, right? So that's only for I don't know if I'm allowed to promote myself, but that is only for my students basically. So I will not be calling scalps. I got loads of DMs, so I just thought I'd clear this up now. Right? I'm not going to be calling scalps. I have a very specific way of trading. Many of you know this by now. Many people get confused by my calls because I have a very specific way of trading. And especially if I try to give you scalps on that, it's not a good idea, right? So I'm not going to be calling scalps, but I will be putting in the spot and the long term plays. But yeah, guys, if you do enter long term, right? Because look, I'm not trying to throw any shade or whatever, but there's a lot of calls, not just in this server, but even in other servers. People saying they're entering spot, people saying they're entering swing, and then TPing at like 4%, 5%. There's nothing wrong with TPing, right? But if you're entering spot or swing, it makes zero sense to TP. In my personal opinion, it makes zero sense to TP as 4%, 2, 3, 4, 5% moves. Why are you entering spot to TP at 4, 5%, right? Or swings, because it messes up your RR, right? Your DCAs didn't fill, some things like this, right? So especially if you're going with DCAs, you're entering with swing and then you TP at 5%, it doesn't make sense. So just focus on, even no matter what call you get, anything like this, right? Just have a critical, have some critical thinking skills. Just think, okay, but is this strategy good for me, right? Because let's be honest, if you enter huge positions and then you TP at 5%, bro, you need to be moving, like I said at the start of the stream, you need to be moving millions, right? Millions to billions for you to be making any sort of significant money. Otherwise, you're making chump change, right? What's the point? So if you have spot, just think about the long term, okay? Don't focus on just the short term gains, right? If you're scalping, right, you're entering lower time frame, it makes sense for you to TP at 2, 3, 5%, right? Your RR is going to be more than worth it. But first, you need to size up, and two, your risk needs to be solid, right? If you're literally going in as a swing, you have multiple DCAs, you've only entered one, right? Your DCAs haven't hit, and then you're TPing at 5%. It doesn't make sense. You've made no money. Let's be honest, right? So just think about that, okay? Think about it. Don't get caught up on like all the green PNLs. Just think about, okay, boys, how much money is being made here, right? And then once you think about that, think about what's best for you. That's the only reason I'm saying this. I'm not trying to throw shade at anyone. That's not my point. But I think it's also important to tell you guys, look, if you want to make serious money, you seriously need to think, what is the size of my accounts, right? How much am I willing to risk? And what is the time frame I'm trading at? That's all very important questions, right? So just also, you can, I'm not saying don't follow calls or anything like this, but I'm saying think about the call and think about, okay, is this suitable for me, my size, the time frame I'm willing to hold, so on and so forth, and the risk I'm willing to put under, right? Because think about that. So just a bit of friendly advice from me regarding that. But yeah, apart from that, guys, if you guys get any more questions, just ping me in the chat and stuff. Follow me on Twitter if you guys want, and I'll be posting some alpha in there as well. And then yeah, I'll be putting this on YouTube, right? So if anyone wants to go over the stream again or anything like that, I'll be putting it on YouTube. Yeah, thanks, bro. I'm glad to be back, man. Glad to be back. Yeah, looking excited, bro. I'm excited, man. It's it's that phase of the market where, okay, even if we get chopped a few more, let me tell you guys one more thing. Actually, if we do lose, like I said, if we do lose this level on the 4 months, okay, get off. Well, one sec. I'll keep that. I will get rid of this. Key levels. No, I still this fine. If we do lose this, right, 4 month to 6 month level, especially this 57,789 to 57,596, if we do close below this area in the next 8 days and 12 hours, or however much it is by the time monthly closes, like I was saying, my next logical area is, of course, go and challenge this again. But if that doesn't hold, right, 46k, I wouldn't put out the table. Okay, and the only reason I'm saying that is because what this represents, right? What this is representing, just in case people were interested, is this. Okay, so this is a system I developed for myself. Let's give you a quick overlook at it. All those zones, what they're representing is I'm looking at areas where were sellers active before, right? So for example, I'm going to mark this out here. And people don't really pay attention to wicks and candle bodies, right? It's very basic, but if you know how to read them properly, it becomes very, very useful. So, there, let's do that. Actually, better yet, let's do this. No, let's do this. Okay. This, to me, is representing, right? On the 12 months, if you take a look, okay? This is representing an area where in the past, okay, let me go on to the 6 months as well. Same thing on the 6 months. It's representing an area where on the past, in the 6 months / 12 months, buyers did manage to take the price here, right? Look, buyers did manage to take the price here. But look what happened every time price got into this zone, right? Once, rejection. Twice, rejection. And this here was a confirmation. Buyers tried to get back into the zone, but as soon as they got here, look what happened, right? Meaning this entire zone now, right? The area between the wick and the candle body is an area where sellers have taken control, where sellers are active, right? This isn't a liquidity pocket. Okay, this isn't your traditional demand zone, supply zone. This is more something I noticed and started developing for myself, right? This is an area where sellers were active, right? I'm not going to call it a supply zone, but more an area where sellers are in control, right? You can just tell that from what the candle and the wick is telling you, right? So if you have such an important area, now you can analyze price action. Look at the price action every time we were here in the past, right? Rejection, rejection, rejection. But look what's happening now, right? This 6 month candle, we actually closed inside this area. More importantly, we closed above the low and we closed above the mid, right? Sure, we still SFP'd off the top, and that's to be expected, right? No one's expecting such a strong seller zone to be completely broken through at once. But we've closed within that zone, and so far on the 6 months, we're actually having a successful retest of the mid, right? Look, you're holding this area, you're not completely losing it. So what you're saying is before, whereas sellers were in complete control, buyers couldn't close a single candle body within this area on the higher time frame, right? On the 6 months and the 12 months. But now you've got the opposite. You've got sellers trying to take control and failing to do so, meaning what was once an area where sellers were in charge is now an area where buyers are in charge, right? And this is very, very bullish, right? We can do the same thing if we go on the 4 months, right? Same thing here. This is the area on the 4 months where sellers were in control before, right? Hopefully you see that. Let me get rid of this. Look. Wick, wick, wick. No candle body closes within this area in the previous cycle, right? Sellers were in control in the previous cycle. No candle body closes above. But again, what we're getting now, right? The last 4 month candle, right? Last triannual candle closed above, right? And this one has had a successful retest. So far, it's had a successful retest of the low, right? Meaning the area where sellers were in control before, again, so far is proving to be an area where buyers are in control. Now, again, in the next 8 days, if you close below, you will see why I'm saying we could go a bit lower, because you'd be reconfirming this big area as resistance again, right? So that's why I'm saying you need to close above this 4 month low in the upcoming monthly close in 8 days, right? You need to close above this. If not, your next target is going to be the next higher time frame level, which is that 6 month low, right? That becomes, because if you close above here, the next logical support for me would be here. And as long as you close above this by the end of the year, as long as you close above 46k by the end of the year, you're going to go higher come next year, right? That's the way I would see it. But you now see where that 3 month low, 4 month low, 6 month low, etc. is coming from, right? Because you can do the same thing for the 3 months, you can do the same thing for the 2 months, right? You can do the same thing for the monthly, weekly, so on and so forth. You will get levels of very high importance on your screen, right? And that's all it is. Okay, this is just an overview, right? So if someone gets confused, obviously it's a system I developed for myself, so don't worry if you get a bit confused. I'm going to go over it again in the future, but that's the way I see things. That's the system I developed, and that's what I'm saying. That is the level. That's the line in the sand for me, right? If you lose that, then I'd be inclined to think, you know what? Unless we reclaim, we're going to go and visit 46k, right? So that's where those key levels are coming from. Yeah, sure, Tyler. What's up? Yeah, I do give signals in my channel. I've not given it in a while because obviously I've been away. But mainly what I actually do is I enter trades and give in my streams, and then after that I post on my channel. Because like I said, many people don't there was a problem where I was giving a load of signals on my channel, but many people weren't understanding it, because I have like I said, I have my own way of trading, right? Not everyone trades the same, and it's a lot of effort, right? So people who take my one-on-ones will know it takes like a couple months for us to get through, and it's like 10 lessons through to finally start to understand my course, because I have my own way of trading. So it doesn't make sense for me to just, just try to explain all of that in one post, right? It just wouldn't work. So I just give it on stream, because on stream at least I can actually explain my thought process, so on and so forth. So I know I can say this is the reason why stop loss is here. It just becomes easier for me. So I give it in normally on stream, post a YouTube video, and if I have time, I also put it in my channel. But normally it's on the stream, and then after that, I post it in the channel. Yeah. So I'll just wait to see if anyone got any questions. After that, I'll end the stream. I'll put it on YouTube. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of alts at really, really good prices, guys. So shopping season, really. This should be log. Where's everything gone? Let me go to the 5 minutes auto. And okay. Yeah, we're looking strong. Yeah, sure. Just real quick for BTC, let me go on linear here. For now, the levels you should watch for this is for the upcoming monthly close, okay? You do not want to lose key levels. There we go. For the upcoming close, ideally, this purple box, right? And I'm actually gonna color that a bit different. Just this area here between the 3-month low and the 6-month mid, you want to ideally close above this, okay? And the most important level to not lose in this upcoming close is this 4-month low here, 57,789. So as long as you close above, the area between 57,596 and 58,787, if you're taking about a zone, is fine. But the line in the sand for this 4-month low especially is 57,789. If you can close above that on the 4 months, is pretty prime to go higher. If you lose that, then the next major target I'll be looking for is 46,195 as support. You don't want to lose that by year's end. Right? And this scenario would come into play if you close below this in this triennial close, because then you'd be in for the last 4 months, right? So 57,789.06. That's the line in the sand. But what you're doing right now is good. You're pushing. You're trying to close above this area, right? 2-month, your monthly low. Don't mark it long here. If you get something like this, that would be your entry, right? That would be your entry trigger right here. If you get the flip, you would enter then, just like that. So if you flip this, then you have a reason to actually try and take a trade. If not, if you close below, then you might just go and go back down to range lows again. There's a lot of stops going to be built up here. You can see just higher lows, higher lows. That's a lot of external liquidity, right? If you're speaking, even if you're speaking in terms of 4 hours, you have a lot of external liquidity. So if whatever reason, right, something bearish were to occur, all of this is getting stopped. But for now, you look good. But again, don't long without confirmation here. No problem at all. Okay, guys. So that's gonna be it from me today. I'm gonna go and eat some food. I'm not eating anything today. So hopefully, you guys enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this, tune in more. I'll start streaming again like normal. I'll post this on my YouTube as well now, and then I'll send the link in my channel when it's done. If you have any questions or anything, just tag me in chat. And if anyone's interested in one-on-ones with me, just send me a DM, right? But apart from that, yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in today on your Friday, right? I'll see you guys soon. Yeah, you too. Thanks, bro, Grasati. Thanks for being here, man. All right. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.